Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Digital Learning Day 2026. We're excited to bring you together for continued learning, collaboration, and practical strategies you can bring back to your classroom and agencies. Throughout the session, please feel free to drop your questions and comments in the chat. We'll pause at different points to address them and make this as interactive as possible. All sessions are being recorded, and the recordings will be shared early next week so you can revisit key ideas or catch anything you may have missed. In the meantime, please introduce yourself in the chat. Our next session is titled Supporting Responsible Social Media Use, a Guide to Social Media Test Drive. And we have our presenters. Isabel McLeod Daphnis is a researcher and lab manager at Cornell University, where she manages the social media lab and the virtual embodiment lab. Her work focuses on digital literacy, immersive simulations, and the pro-social use of virtual environments, with particular attention to adolescents and other vulnerable learners. We also have Dr. Ellen Zhu, Assistant Professor of Education at the Penn State College of Education. Her research sits at the intersection of learning sciences, instructional design, and human-centered AI, focusing on simulation-based and chatbot-supported learning environments that promote digital literacy, equity, and learner agency across diverse educational contexts. And with that said, I'll pass the virtual microphone to Isabel. Very excited for today's session. Um, Fan of social media test drives myself. Thank you for presenting for us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having us today. So we are going to be going through our presentation today, as Jose said, Supporting Responsible Social Media Use, a Guide to Social Media Test Drive. And I'll pass over to my colleague, Ellen, to say a little something.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I was late. I lost the calendar item, so it took me a while to find the link again. Good morning. Thank you for being here. So today we'll talk about something that we almost all of us almost engage in every single day, the social media. But instead of debating whether social media is good or bad, we're going to focus on something much more practical. So how we can help students and honestly ourselves how to navigate social media safely and responsibly. And I'm going to introduce you to our tool, which is called Social Media Test Drive. It's essentially a safe simulation environment where students can practice their digital citizenship skills before making mistakes in real world. Can we go to the next slide?
Yes, we did have those lovely introductions from Jose.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
next slide. Oh, no, I don't know how to control the slide.
Oh, it's me. I'm clicking. Do you want the next slide?
Yes, yes, please. I don't see the
It's
next.
currently sharing the PowerPoint open, not the
Does
presentation.
it,
Yeah.
Right.
what's it showing?
It's like your Google slide. It says docs.google.com. You have the test
Oh,
drive module tab and the EdWeb
well,
webinar.
that's not very helpful. Why is it
Mm.
doing that? That's not how it shows for me. Okay, hold on. Your screen sharing is paused. Man, technology.
If it's helpful, I can share mine.
Yeah, maybe that'll help.
Yep. 1 second. Mhm. Can everybody see mine?
Yes.
Okay, great, wonderful. So just, a very brief self-introduction. My name is Ellen Wenting Zhu. I'm assistant professor at Penn State University. So my research, my work focuses on digital literacy, AI, and how people learn in technology-rich environments. And Isabel, do you want to say a few more things about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Isabel McLeod Daphnis. I'm a lab manager and researcher at Cornell, both in the social media lab, where Ellen previously worked as a postdoc, and also at Cornell's virtual embodiment lab, where I broadly kind of look at the pro-social uses of social media and virtual environments.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next. All right. So here's what's on the menu today. We will spend about 15 to 20 minutes to look at the current trends of social media use, the history behind Test Drive, how we implement Test Drive in classroom and in informal settings. And then we will spend about 15 to 20 minutes to walk through a module so everybody can engage and, and do this together with us. And then before we leave, we'll leave some time for Q&A. All right, so before we dive in, I just want to have a fun poll with everyone. Do you have a social media account or not? Please raise your hand or, virtual hand if you use social media. And please share what social media platform do you use the most on a day-to-day basis? Okay. Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, Insta and FB, TikTok, Facebook. Haven't used Facebook for a while, but yeah, Instagram is really, really popular. LinkedIn, okay. Okay, that's great. So I've seen that almost everyone uses Instagram. That's great. I assume that most of us are very familiar with social media, how it works, the social dynamics within these spaces. Well, that's good. That makes me very, that will make it very easy to explain the interface and the features in Test Drive. All right. Um, so what is in Test Drive? So what is social media test drive? Well, in one sentence, is an educational tool that allows students to learn key digital citizenship topics by interacting with social media simulation. So think of it like a flight simulator, but in Instagram style interactions. So students don't just read about digital citizenship knowledge and concepts. They can actually experience some real stories, and then they can take action to mitigate those risks. The idea of social media test drive came from the youth development educators who kept saying, well, we tell students how to behave online, but we don't give them a place to practice. And that's a real problem. Well, you wouldn't teach someone to drive by handing them a rule book and then put them directly on highway, right? So test drive was adapted from a research social media simulation platform. We allow experimentation and learning in a safe and realistic environment. So Test Drive is a full social media simulation. Like I said, it's just like a flight simulator. Students don't need to create a real account when they use this platform. So it's really easy for educators to adopt to their classroom. There are 12 modules in total, focusing on different social media literacy and digital citizenship topics. So, for example, privacy, scam and phishing, how to strengthen your password, cyberbullying, news media balance, so on and so forth. So there are 12 modules in total, and each module takes about 20 to 25 minutes to complete. So I would say it's perfect for a class session or a homework assignment. Students can work independently in pairs, asynchronously or synchronously. So it's really, really flexible. So here I want to, before talking more about the research and the fun stuff in social media, I want to show you a very short demo of what what's under the hood, what are the features in
Hi, this is Daniel with the Common Sense Education team. I'm excited to let you know about social media test driving, a new educational tool that is aligned with our digital citizenship curriculum. For the last few years, our team has been working with researchers from Cornell University to create a tool that promotes social media literacy. Social media test drive is that tool, and its goal is simple: to prepare middle school students with the skills they need to navigate the digital world of social media. So, if you're looking for a digital citizenship activity that can be done in a synchronous or asynchronous setting, or if you're interested in helping your students learn things like how to build healthy social media habits or how to identify fake news online, then Social Media Test Drive is the tool for you. So let me show you what this tool looks like. This is the Social Media Test Drive landing page, where you will be able to explore each of the 12 modules we have created. Each module is a social media environment that students can explore while learning how to overcome a digital challenge. Each module is designed to scaffold students' introduction to social media, and they're organized into 4 sections. In the Learn section, students are introduced to key digital citizenship concepts and vocabulary. Then they are taken to the test drive timeline. This first introduction to the timeline environment features pop-up boxes that teach students about things they might encounter on social media, as well as things they can do in case they experience a red flag feeling. In this case, students are learning about cyberbullying. Once students have a grasp for the basic concepts, they move on to the practice section. Here, students have more freedom. They're able to scroll through the timeline and interact with it by doing things like liking a post or writing a comment. This section includes visual aids to help students practice the skills they learned in the previous section. After navigating the timeline with some support, students are sent to the Explore or Free Play section. Here, students get to be fully immersed in a social media environment. They're given some context for what they should look out for as they explore the timeline. But whether they do something or not is up to them. At the end of the activity, students will come across a reflection section where they will have the opportunity to answer a couple of questions about their experience and share some of the things they noticed in the Explore section. Thanks very much for watching. To find more great resources for educators and schools, visit us at Common Sense Education.
Okay. So I hope the interface of Test Drive looks familiar because we're intentionally designing the interface to mirror what it looks like in real social media platforms. So it feels realistic. So what makes it unique? Well, we all know that there are lots of digital citizenship curricula out there, but what makes Test Drive unique? Well, first, it was co-developed by Common Sense Education and Cornell Social Media Lab, so it's aligned with the widely used digital citizenship standards. And second, and this is the key, we use experiential learning to to scaffold students' knowledge acquisition and knowledge application. Students aren't told what to do; they are placed inside a realistic digital situation, digital dilemmas. And third, it's safe and private, and a lot of educators appreciate that. So students can make mistakes without real world consequences. It's it's self-contained. It's not connected to the wider social media platforms. So the goals of Test Drive is that we want students to understand the key digital citizen concepts. In each module, we will teach a set of unique social digital citizenship concepts. We want students to learn the platform features like the privacy settings and the reporting tools when they see something skeptical or problematic. And then we want students to develop realistic expectations about social media. So we have modules like media balance, where we teach students how to use social media in a more responsible way so that they don't get, fatigue or, they're scrolling nonstop. And we want students to practice pro-social behaviors, for example, like reporting hateful comments and identifying fake news. So it's not just about knowledge, it's skill development. So here, I want to show you the engine behind social media test drive design. Um, so um, so this model we use is called experiential learning. There are four stages in this model. So we start with concrete experience. So students encounter a realistic social media situation. So for example, they encounter some fake news or they were bullied online. So that's concrete experience. And then we come to reflective observation. So students think about what just happened. And the next step is abstract conceptualization. So connecting that real experience to ideas like digital footprint, misinformation, and online safety. But the last stage, the active experimentation stage I think, is the most important. What it means is that students don't just read or watch, they actually do something. They can click, they report something, they change their privacy settings, they decide whether to share a piece of news or not to share, they respond to a scam post. Well, they practice, right? And this isn't theoretical. We actually conducted a research study on this. So what we found was very interesting. So students who actively engage with the activities within the module, meaning that they follow the instructions, they do what we suggest them to do. They actually achieve significantly better learning outcomes compared to those students who just flip through the pages without doing anything. So active experimentation is essential. It's not optional, it's essential. So each module has four parts, as the video has just shown. The first section is called tutorial. So in tutorial, we introduce students to the key concepts. So for example, in the cyberbullying module, we introduce students to concept like what is a bully, what is a victim, what is a target, what does, the bullying comments look like. So we introduce them to key concepts. The second section is the guided activity. So here, this is where scaffolding happens. It helps students, think about what had just happened during the tutorial in the previous section. And then free play. So free play is active experiment. Here in this section, students don't have any clues. There's no clues, no hints. Students are asked to take actions after they have, learned the key concepts, that they have learned, the right way to do things. So free play is active experimentation, and then reflection. Reflection is huge. Without reflection, experience doesn't become learning. So we really emphasize on reflection. We give students a set of questions so that they can reflect on what they have done in the free play section. So why is it engaging and safe? Well, the interface, as you see on in the video, the interface look like real Instagram interface. There are also bot users. Well, there are different users you saw here. Well, these are configured by the designers. They're not human beings. But the users can click into these bots and see their personal page. So we have put a lot of efforts into making this interface as realistic as possible. So everything you click in the interface, there's a link that you can direct you to a real, personal page of those bots. It feels real, but like I said, it's still a self-contained environment. It's not connected to real social media platforms. So students can practice, they can make mistakes without fearing any real consequences. And also, there's no data collection without users' consent. So we don't collect any data, for from the public use. So there's very little data privacy concerns if educators adopt this in their classroom. Okay, another fun poll. Have you seen or have you used any simulation-based learning on social media literacy or digital citizenship skills before? If you have, please share the name of the program. I'll be very, very curious to see if there are any similar programs like Test Drive. Hmm. You think of any? North Star? I haven't used North Star, but I saw the slides and the PDF. Like most of the North Star website, the materials I got are static learning materials. I myself I don't see a lot of simulation-based interactive type of program. But if you know more about these programs, do let us know. If there's none, well, you're welcome to use Social Media Test Drive. That's what we make this program for. I think that's the real novelty of our program. We make a realistic simulation, like a flight simulator, so that students can practice their knowledge and skills in a safe environment. Okay, curriculum alignment, as many of you have mentioned North Star. Test Drive is not standalone. We align with Common Sense Education's digital literacy, digital citizenship, the standards. And if you look at the North Star and the DART standard, there are a lot of overlap between the topics that we teach in Test Drive and the lessons, the topics that were mentioned in North Star and the DART curriculum. So it's it can plug in as an extension activity if you're already teaching these topics. So next I want to talk about how educators actually use it in their classroom settings. Well, I would say for most of the educators that we worked with, they use this in classroom, so as a synchronous activity. So they pre-teach the key concepts. So for example, in cyberbullying, the module of cyberbullying, the educators will teach those key concepts first, and then use Test Drive as a learning activity, as a collaborative learning activity. So students work either individually or in pairs or in groups. They complete the module together. They play with the simulation. They do whatever the module suggests them to do, and then they come back together to have a group discussion. And I would say, most of the insightful, comments emerge from the student discussion, the post-module discussion. So that's really meaningful. But you can use it in other ways as well. You can assign this as a homework assignment. So you can teach this first in class and then you assign this after class. So they spend 15 to 20 minutes to go through a module and then, scaffolding them to solidify their understanding of important social media literacy or digital citizenship concepts. What teachers and students say about Test Drive? Well, there are two themes I want to highlight here. One is that both the teachers and the students, they really like the realistic features. They say that they are really, really engaging. And the second theme that I observe through our qualitative feedback we collected from the users are they really appreciate that this is a safe, self-contained environment. There's very little friction if you adopt this in the classroom because the users, the students don't need to create an account here. There's no data collection without consent, and the students can, make mistakes without fearing any real consequences. So it's, a really, really safe, self-contained environment for students to practice their knowledge and skills. All right, so I have talked a lot. Next part, I want my colleague Isabel to walk you through a module. So really, dive in and see what's inside. So Isabel, do you want to take over from here?
Yes, let's hope my screen cooperates this time.
Let me exit my screen sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can everybody see my screen? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is just the social media test drive homepage right here. You can navigate to the modules by just pressing on try a module. It'll take you to this page. We saw in the PowerPoint earlier, we saw some screenshots of this. We're going to go through the scams and phishing module. I think this one is really interesting, really helpful for adult learners too. But it's not so complex that we won't be able to go through it as a group. So what I will ask is there are going to be little questions and activities that pop up, and I would love if you guys could respond in the chat when I ask you what I think or what you think we should do. Does that sound good? Okay. This does also have voiceover. So you'll see there's this little button down here for voiceover. And if you keep that on, when you start interacting with this, it's going to speak. But since I'm speaking to you guys, I don't think there's any need for that right now. Okay, click to get started. So when you're online, you might come across scams that try to steal your private information or your identity. If someone steals your private information, they can pretend to be you. This is called identity theft, and you may not be aware of its consequences until far into the future. If your identity is stolen, someone could apply for credit cards in your name and buy things, cyberbully someone while pretending to be you, or create false identification documents. Okay, so it's got the key ideas here. Information that can be used to identify you because it's unique to you, like your full name, your address, or your password, private information. It's going to define phishing scams here. When someone poses as an institution like a bank or a school and posts a message asking you to provide private information, and then shorten URLs. So that's a web address that has been condensed and that could potentially mislead a user into going to a risky website. Okay, so it just starts off with the base concepts before you get into things. All right, so now we're in our first kind of social media simulated screen, and it guides you through so that even though this is the first module you're doing, even though it's not module number one, it's still, I think, pretty intuitive. So one way someone can try to steal your identity on the internet is by getting you to click on a link or enter information about yourself. Here's some tips on how to identify a phishing scam on social media. Look for shortened URLs in posts or private messages. This is a strategy scammers use to make people go into a risky website. Even if a URL is not shortened, check carefully to make sure it's correct. And then you see it pops back up at the top. It's going to like direct you around to what it wants you to look at. So it was talking about the URLs earlier, and it was over down here by the URL. Okay. If something sounds too good to be true, be skeptical. Scammers often offer easy chances to win free money or prizes. Be wary of messages that sound urgent. Scammers often create posts that make you worry or feel like something is wrong. Look out for spelling mistakes, grammar errors, as well as images that don't look quite right. A real company does not send out messages with these kinds of errors. What can you do if you see someone posting a phishing scam? Okay, so now it's giving us some advice. Ignore the link, don't click on it, especially if it's a shortened or incorrect URL. You can press the flag button to report the post to the website. Okay. Now it's going to give us kind of a little quiz. So what should you do if you accidentally fall for a phishing scam? It wants us to read and check all the boxes. So If you've given a phishing website your password, change your password immediately. And if you use the same password with other accounts, change those passwords too. Report the phishing post to the website so it can be taken down. And tell a trusted adult. Hopefully, I think we're all trusted adults here. They can help you take the right steps to protect your information. Okay. So now we're kind of getting more into a little bit of a free play section. So it's going to direct you to these kind of glowing dots. So click on done and then look at the blue dots to learn more. So it's going to guide you through your actual timeline you can see here. Okay, so here's the first glowing dot. This post is suspicious because it has spelling errors and sounds too good to be true. Here's the next dot. This post has a shortened URL, which can lead to a risky website. Don't click on the link. All right, now we're going to have to scroll and look for the next dot. Here it is. If you decide the post is a phishing scam, click on the flag button to report it. Watch out for scammers who are pretending to be your friend. You may see a photo of someone you know, but the post isn't really from them. Okay, so that's just guiding us through how we're actually going to interact. A quick little review. Phishing scams on social media happen when a scammer poses as an institution or your friend and posts a message asking you to provide private information. Scammers can use shortened URLs to trick you into clicking on risky websites. Oh, you have a comment. That's funny. My parents come up and ask me if it's okay for them to click. I guess you are, yes, you're definitely a responsible adult. Scammers can also use shortened URLs to trick you into clicking on risky websites. Phishing scams can also have spelling or grammar errors, misleading images, and deals that sound too good to be true. If you see a phishing scam, you can ignore the link and don't click on it, and then flag the post to report it to the website. All right, so now we're going to get into actually exploring the timeline. Like I said, even though this could be the first or the 12th module that you're in, it's going to hold your hand through it no matter what. You can read what others have posted, respond, or make your own posts. As you look through the timeline, see if you can spot the posts that are phishing. All right, so I'm going to rely on you guys to call out anything that looks suspicious. Remember to not click on any suspicious links and report the phishing post to the website. Okay, so this is really cool. I'll point out too, you could actually go ahead and make your own profile if you wanted to. I don't think we need to right now, but you could put in a little profile photo, your name, where you live, help make you feel a little bit more real, but none of that's going to get saved or stored anywhere. All right. What about this first post? Is this popping up any red flags for anybody? I'll give it a second, but it seems like no red flags, just an artsy kid. All right. My little bro tried on my glasses. So cute. Nothing to click. Yep. Here, adorable kid, gigantic glasses. Adorable. What do we think? Still nothing? Okay. All right. What about here? Right. Bad link. Yep. And what else stands out about this? Yes. That's a deal too good to be true. All right. Let's go ahead and flag it. Yes, the price. Yep. Okay. So now it's showing you flag this. Admins will review this post further. All right. On to the next post. Our team is doing so good this season. Okay. I think no red flags from anyone, but I'll show like a little example. that you can interact with things. So you can go ahead. You never notice the flag options in my accounts. Yes, definitely very important. This allows you to kind of simulate you like. You could take a comment in here if you wanted to. Go team. Okay. And it pops right up. All right, on to the next one. Loving this weather. Okay. I think nothing. You have these sort of unsettling stuffed, I don't know what, it's not a teddy bear. Um, stuffed creatures. Any red flags here for scams? Smiley face, a bear. Okay. Lots of smiles. Studying hard. Okay. All right. Now, what about this one? The numbers in red. What numbers in red? Oh, the like count here. That's like how many people have liked the post. So I just click like on it. Let me unlike that. Okay, what do we think of this post? Fishy. Yes, for sure. Yeah. It's giving us a threatening message. And it's got a suspicious link right here, test drive, which is not the link to our website because this is posing a social media test drive. All caps to create urgency. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flag this. All right, some very yummy looking brownies. Scroll through more. Got a full little conversation going on here. If I click on these people, you'll see the profile is actually there. Oops. What happened? Oh no. Okay, here we are. Go girl. Scroll down again. Pretty blue sky. Think. Visiting my brother at college. You'll also note that there's a little flag button on the individual comments in case there was like a specific comment that was posting something problematic too. Okay, more Globe Wanderer. No links, no statements, just an image, really. All right, now we've got this one. Flag it, yes. We're flagging. Too good to be true. Short little link. Yeah, spelling errors. 5 midnight. Not American money. All right, here we've got a classic meme on the internet. Nobody knows you're a dog. Okay. You can see we're getting closer to the end of the timeline here. Got another post. Wholesome family. Love it when my grandparents come to visit. More just kind of our group in science class today. Okay. Running around in the waves. How often is this updated with updates to social apps? This interface has stayed pretty much the same since I've been working with the company, but I believe there are definitely people working on things like translating the app into other languages, and things like making potentially new modules. But the interface as it is looks like this. I will note that the interface does come from something called a Truman platform. That's like an open source resource. So anybody could go and use a Truman platform and customize it to make it look different and make it look like a more updated or different social media app if they wanted to. Okay. All right, so now it's going to prompt users to reflect. Looks like we caught all of the phishing scams here. So it'll ask you, oh, to respond. So this is something you could give the students. You can ask them to like report this back to you so that you can see how well they did and if they caught these things. Let them reflect there over text. And then you have this button here to print your responses. So what teachers often do is they'll ask students to print the response as a PDF and then send them the PDF so they can keep a record of the scores. Okay. Oh, did my screen disappear?
It opened a new tab. I think it says untitled there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's probably, oh, I think it's because I went to print it, but then I didn't actually print it. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think we have just a few more minutes, Jose. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So then we can open it up for questions in our last few minutes. How do students see this in different languages that you mentioned? As of now, the one that I know is being developed is Spanish. So that one is still in development and it's not live yet. But when it does go live, there'll just be a slight variation on the link, like it'll say .es instead. And there might be like a tab that appears at the top that allows you to toggle between languages.
And in terms of accessibility, I do want to mention one important function that we have added, which is the voiceover. So there's a button on the, you know, bottom left corner of the interface. So if you turn on the voiceover, then you can, for younger kids, the educators, they love this function. So they ask students to turn on that voiceover and can, pace them better because there are a lot of reading on the screen. So it's helpful for students with reading with some reading impairments.
How do we access this for use in the classroom? Well, it's totally free, open access. I will post the link in chat right now.
You can simply Google social media test drive and it will be the first link that pop up.
Is there a way to keep track?
That is an excellent question. So in the research version of Test Drive, we have actually developed a teacher dashboard or educator dashboard where the teachers can see how many tasks or what is the percentage of tasks that students have already accomplished and what are their, current score. But in order to use that research version of Test Drive, we do need students to create accounts and then log in. Um, because if that way we can accurately track each individual student and where is their current progress. But that is, like I said, it's a research version of Test Drive where we use to conduct a research experiment. And if you're interested, we can definitely create the help create a student account for you so that you can use it in class.
And Lisa,
Educator
I just put
materials.
a
Yeah,
link to the educator guide that's on our website.
yeah. There's an educator tab on the official website of Test Drive where you can see the educator guide. So we provide classroom implementation tips, like how you can adopt this in the classroom, and also we have developed the social media literacy knowledge scale. So the knowledge surveys you can use in classroom after students completed the module. So we have different versions of the knowledge test that you can use. We have short version with only 6 questions, and then slightly longer 8 questions, and we have the full version 16 questions knowledge scale where you can evaluate how much students understand the concepts we teach in those modules. Any other questions? So there's one upcoming function I do want to advertise. So because right now when Isabel walk you through the module, you can see that you can click the link, you can report a post, you can type comments, you can do all kinds of things that you normally do on real social media platforms. But the you know the I wouldn't say the weakness of the platform, but I would say there is an opportunity for us to provide more personalized feedback for individual students. So for example, in the cyberbullying module, when we implement this in like fifth graders classroom, we see all kinds of comments from the kids. Some of the kids, they're doing exactly what we want them to do. So for example, writing a post to support the victim or to confront the bully. But sometimes, kids are they're unpredictable, right? Well, they would do things that we don't want them to do. In that case, we want to provide personalized feedback to nudge the kids towards the right direction. So to be able to do that, we're currently trying to develop, large language model based conversational bot that role plays, that can, play the role as another peer or a responsible adult on the simulated interface. And whenever the kids are doing something that deviates from our expectation, we can nudge them back. So it will take quite some time to develop, but we're heading towards this direction. Oh yeah, I think it's adaptable to the size of your screen. If you try it on your phone, like smaller screen size, I think it also works, but the experience might not be as smooth as in a web browser, but it does work on smaller screen size.
Yeah, it does. You can simulate that even just by like on laptop. If you just shrink the like width of your screen, you can see what it looks like across the different platforms. So if you smush it as much as you can, it will show you what it looks like on an iPhone.
Yeah, it works on iPad as well, like
Yeah.
different screen size. Yes, I think Jose is showing us it does, it automatically adapts.
I was trying to keep disappearing on my background. Is there any I'll jump in. Is there any plan of adding additional modules? Like there's one that I found that you guys have for like looking at I'm trying to remember the name of it. See, like you're looking at usage terms, like how to read through that. Um, I found that one's pretty useful even for myself with all the different, updated services that, with, ChatGPT and everything else going on. They'll give you a revised term and it's like pages long. A lot of people don't read them all the way through, and then you're actually giving out or agreeing to sharing information that you didn't want to. But you and that module itself like kind of broke that down. I was just wondering if you guys have any other modules planning along that line.
You mean the privacy setting?
I'm
Like,
gonna look it up because I don't remember. I took it a while ago.
mhm.
It was
Yeah, I think we do have one or maybe two modules even
social
on,
media privacy, I think is what it was.
yeah, like privacy information. Is it privacy information? I think that's the title of the module. Yeah, we actually have two modules on privacy. One is called social media privacy. The other is it private information? I think one of the modules is slightly more advanced. We designed it for slightly older kids or young adults. The other one is, we teach more straightforward skills or, ways that they can configure how to protect their privacy online.
I see Lisa asking about recognizing AI in posts. I think Social Media Lab and Ellen too. We're definitely big on AI literacy. This curriculum was developed, gosh, when did the site go up? 2019?
2018.
2018?
Yeah,
Yeah, a pre-ChatGPT world.
right.
Things have changed since then. Ellen, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so how to recognize AI in posts? Well, for the AI bots that we are going to embed into the interface, we will clearly mark the bots as learning co-pilots, so the kids know they're bots. They're not, human users. So it won't feel as creepy, right? Like people are watching them or something. We want to make it realistic, but still we want to make it, safe and controllable. So we will clearly mark the bots as learning co-pilots.
I guess I interpreted it more about teaching people to recognize.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, literacy. Yeah.
AI literacy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a future, direction of, how to expand the topics of social media test drive. Right now, like Isabel mentioned that the modules were developed in 2018, 2019, so pre-AI world. But right now, AI is definitely, it's everywhere and it's driving the algorithms of social media. So it's really I would say it's urgent to develop, new modules or new topics teaching people how to how to spot or how to identify those risks. So for example, AI generated misinformation, or addiction to AI algorithm recommendation or like deep fakes, right? Like all these cyber risks. Um, since the introduction of AI. So we will definitely, head towards this direction, and we'll, try to do more research in the field and see what kind of, topics that we can later incorporate into test drive to develop the students' AI literacy. I would say it's a different type of literacy that we're dealing with.
Yeah, I think AI literacy is definitely a big topic with us. I know what we've been doing so far lately in Social Media Lab, a lot of our conversation has revolved around AI literacy. We were working with the New York State Public Library System in 2024 and 2025 to kind of just compile all the existing AI literacy curriculums that are available at like different um, levels for like different ages and different grades. So I do have a really big long list of everything that's out there pretty much for different age groups. So if any of you guys are curious about that, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in chat here, and I can send you some links to those resources.
Yep, and also once we have, developed more modules about AI literacy and how to spot AI in social media posts, we'll be happy to share out the link so you can try the new modules. I actually have one question for everyone here. So what would be, if you were to propose a new module, what topic do you think would be, most necessary or most urgent? It will give us some inspiration for our development in the next stage. AI literacy, yes, definitely. Photos. So for example, like AI generated photos and how to spot if it's AI generated or real. Okay. Chatting and DMs. Use the bot. Okay. Chatting and DMs. Sharing backgrounds that should be hidden. Photo sharing backgrounds that should be hidden. Okay.
Mm.
These are interesting ideas. AI literacy and how it shows in social media. Yeah. So I guess a lot of people are interested in how to spot AI generated content, right? I don't see many, education programs right now dealing with this because honestly, for a lot of, like people who have a lot of experience with social media and people who are tech savvy, it's difficult to to identify fake contents these days because AI make them so realistic and so hard to tell whether it's fake or not. And we're also thinking about, the AI ethics. So, for example, how to ethically use tools like GPT, right? Because most students use them to do their homework and to cheat in the exam. So definitely the AI ethics aspect, it's also something that we're considering right now.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed this presentation. Um, thank you for sharing, walking us through the modules and having this Q&A session at section at the end as well. Um, we have our next session, which I was 10 minutes ahead earlier. We have our next session at 11:30. So you guys have a break now. Um, stretch, get some coffee, have a coffee on me, have a snack on me. Um, and then at 11:30 we'll be back. Our next section is AI then and now, staying grounded in a rapidly changing landscape. Which, fun fact, is with Brianna Projarka and me, Jose Adorno. So I'll be in the next session. Looking forward to see you all. And thank you to Dr. Ellen Zhu and Isabel McLeod Daphnis for presenting for us today. Really appreciate it.
Good to see
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.